Dogtra, the world's finest maker of e-collars for dogs, is proud to introduce Mike Ritland, former U.S. Navy SEAL, founder of Tricos International and the Warrior Dog Foundation. Mike's unique background and training expertise provide a powerful process to training canine dogs.
So what we're going to try to accomplish here is basically just kind of bite work 101. I want him to first and foremost be calm, confident, comfortable on the bite. Until the dog is in that state of mind, you really can't progress any further than that. If the dog is uncomfortable, you know, you're essentially wasting your time in trying to overlap drive. So you can't really build the threshold in terms of defensive pressure and what the dog can take if he's nervy and uncomfortable. So first and foremost, we want nice, calm, quiet bite where there's no doubt in your dog's mind or your mind that the dog is doing what he should be doing, and he's nice and comfortable doing it. From that point, what we're essentially trying to do is build the threshold of pressure that dog can take. And the way we do that is we put pressure on the dog, build that defensive drive and level of stress, and once it gets to a point where it needs to be released, then we cross back over into the prey threshold and relieve all that. And so you're essentially overlapping prey defense over and over until you raise that level of pressure and stress that dog can take from a defensive standpoint. So here we go. So basically what I was going for there is just building the dog's confidence on the bite, transferring the dog into a more realistic state of mind in terms of actually fighting somebody. To just stand there and be stiff or kind of go through the motions isn't very realistic. If a dog is biting somebody for real, you've got a lot of dynamic aspects to it. The guy falls down, the guy screams, he's fighting with the dog. Ultimately, what I want to do to increase my dog's potential for success is I want him to come in as strong as possible. And that's how you make a dog strong. Genetically, the dog is what he is. It's imperative to remember you're never going to get any further than what maximizing that dog's genetic potential is. That's the best you can do. But the way that you maximize that is doing bite work just like that, in my opinion. You want to teach the dog that by coming in, biting full, biting deep, being powerful, being emboldened, really taking it to the decoy, that's what's going to give you success. Because the reality of it is if the dog comes in, he's nervy, he's grabbing shallow, he's pulling. If the guy's wearing jackets or shirts like us, what do you have? You have this. You're always going to increase the dog's chances for getting hurt if he's not coming in with absolutely everything he has. How you teach that is very simply is you reward that type of behavior. So what you'll see me and the decoy doing, when he's biting the way we want, the decoy's letting him dominate him. He's screaming, he's yelling, he's squirming. He's becoming an active, live, juicy piece of prey, essentially. When he starts to put pressure on him and the dog starts to build that stress, then what essentially is what happening there is that level of stress gets to the point where the dog can't take anymore. At that point, you see the decoy basically freeze up. He's not putting any more pressure on, but he's not taking any off and rewarding that. What he's waiting for at that point is any little movement that's coming forward. It can be wrapping a paw, it can be countering in a quarter inch, biting just a little bit harder, pulsing, moving forward. The slightest hint of that dog saying, you know what, I'm coming after you, and being forward about it is when now all of a sudden the decoy comes back alive again and makes it worth it. So what you're doing is through that nonverbal communication, you're communicating to that dog, this is what I want, and you're going to be rewarded for it. Whereas in the very first bite session, you see that the difference between the first and second session, somebody that knows nothing about bite work can see a huge difference between those two sessions because of that, because he's being worked in a manner in which we're communicating this is what we want, and that works. I don't care if it's bite work, detection, obedience, whatever. If you communicate to the dog what you want, they figure that out very quick. So this is essentially life is the clicker training, if you will, of bite work, in that you're using these nonverbal cues and marking certain behaviors. You know, the decoy is marking with his prey movements what he wants, and rewarding the type of bite behavior that we know is going to make that dog the most successful. If he's got to go into a house and bite a twice convicted felon that's hopped up on something, I want that dog going in there with supreme confidence that just comes in and just bewilders the guy and flattens him. And that's how you get that behavior out of him. So that's what we're going for.